misery in the previous fight. The smorgasbord of mistakes have kept them in it to win it, and Hyun Bin tries to unleash. That's one clean connection back on the round. Koa low on HP. DRX dealing damage right now as the E-limbs are racking up in a position to close it and grab themselves a chicken dinner on the first game with the shots raining true. It's all on Redox. We need to be a clutch from the back line, and that's not going to happen. DRX will take it.
Yeah, coming to play here. It's not quite D plus Q, but DRX are looking good on the main stage. Very, very nice to see here for them. Team Falcons will take that second place. It's a good position to be in for them, Jackie.
It really is. Beautiful start. And a hell of a start to the day for Yangon Galacticus, right? Like the E-limbs, absolutely beautiful. You're taking really heads-up fights. You've been able to build up that momentum. For a first game, that's the performance I'd want every time. Yeah, we did get the chicken dinner blank, but the blood's pumping, the comms look clean. That matters a lot.
Ralph doesn't seem too pleased that game, but I think that they should be happy. They were working with little to no information there, and they really had to cut it down to the wire moving out from that blue. They were banking on Vision and DRX actually fighting one another, and it took so long to get involved. But what was that car play, dude?
Mate, it just felt so confusing in the moment as well, right? Because you're like,
why
okay,
are you backing your teammate?
You've got the intense fight here. What is this plan? Like, where's this going from? The comedy of error that then just unfolded into everyone, obviously, having to be closely grouped. You eat a nade, no spacing, nothing you can do. The difference of one nade is just completely removing them from what was otherwise a really great sort of mid-flow of the game.
The game was unreal from Vision, and to end in an embarrassing moment like that does feel rough. They still get themselves a lot of points off the back of it, though, Jackie.
They really do, they really do. And a lot more action to come, so join us after the break.
Cybertron's future is near. Autobots, roll out! Reeks of weakness. Your courage reignites my spark. We'll crowd a new load of Cybertron. Victory for all sentient beings. Again.
What a first match that we have had here at PMWC at EWC 25. Boy, I was not expecting DRX to get that win, Max, but they came out on top.
I was like, there's no D plus Kia R, but DRX are the new D plus Kia. Does that make sense? I don't know, maybe. But South Korea here to play. It feels really good. And really good entry point to the East, playing it pretty safe, waiting until the very end. Got a really good nade onto Vision that really just unlocked the potential for them to win that match.
It felt a bit like an underdog type of game, right? You were telling me that a lot of these teams, I mean, big teams that we were expecting to do good, they didn't end up performing that good. One team that actually ended up surprising me, and I feel like it surprised a lot of us, was Yangon Galacticos. The amount of eliminations this team got.
They're like, what the hell is happening in that Alpha 7 compound? I guess we'll send it and just eliminate everyone. They got almost double-digit eliminations that game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So Yangon Galacticos, I think a lot of teams here qualified through PMSLs. They made it through PMCL, the Challengers Cup, and people not really looking towards their direction too much and actually getting a really good start here on Sanhok.
I mean, Neptura, them being able to achieve 14 eliminations, that's one way that you want to be able to start PMWC.
That is wild, and I think it really is down to all of those third parties because they were really on top of the ball when it came to actually finding those opportunities to get those eliminations. A lot of them were through those third-party opportunities. They were just like, oh, there's an angle, there's a team fighting, there's an angle, let's get that angle and move on. So really, really good stuff from them. It's nice to see them step up like this.
Yeah, I mean, Team Vision here getting themselves a third place with 10 eliminations. Two teams able to get double-digit eliminations alongside Yangon Galacticos. And they had a really good third party onto Hora versus WBG. That fight was just stretched out to its absolute limits. I think it went on for about 5 minutes, if not more.
For way too long.
Yeah, and they were like, well, this fight, it's kind of stupid it's taking this long. This is like, we're just gonna roll on in, get those stragglers, get the few points, and after that, get a nice transition to go fight DRX.
Yep.
Unfortunately, DRX had nades, as we did see, but it was a really good start from Vision that after all of the teams that came out of MENA, I was really not having high expectations for
Yes. That was a massive surprise for all of us. I feel like with Team Vision, the way that they were able to perform here on this first match, something that actually ended up surprising me. I was expecting to have one hot drop. Instead, Max and Nev, we ended up having two hot drops.
We did. We had two of them. And then we had, what was it, Power also with Fourth Rise, that's right. But then we also had Nongshim Red Force and AXTMG, Max.
Yep.
What a weird one.
Weird.
Because normally AXTMG, for those who know, looking back at BMPS, they drop Northwest Island. They drop on the mountaintop. I think they might have been scared of a possible flex out of Power and Fourth Rise outside of Heartin. So like, we're just going to give that space away and go for Ruins instead. But Nongshim Red Force dropped there. Like, that is a known fact. And they still try and take it away, which I don't know why, because that's a bit unnecessary, but they win it, so I can't complain too much.
I want to pause it, though. Was it on purpose?
You think so?
Possibly. Now, I have seen many times before, if a team wins a hot drop, that carries momentum in through the rest of the game. They're able to build on top of that and get a lot of eliminations. Sanhok is this team's best map. So for me, I'm like, okay, that's a weird hot drop. That's a weird choice. Was it on purpose? Did they think we can win this against Nongshim? Let's go for it, get that momentum and get some elims for the first game? It's entirely possible.
I feel like the reason why we're saying this could be their best map is because they do end up playing it twice at BMPS, so they have a little bit extra experience when it came to that one.
Very confident.
Now, like, you got a chance to talk to the Falcons coach.
I did.
And I know you were happy to mention something about this team.
I was. Pico. Shout out to him. He was talking to me about the team, and I was like, you know, are you going to play any different? Because, like, you're not playing tomorrow, all of this. And he said, no, we're just going to play normally. We're chill. And I was like, okay. Normal in these sorts of lobbies, especially the first day, is everybody kind of tiptoes around each other a little bit. Certainly in the early stages of the game, you kind of like trying to get a feel for how the lobby's going to play. Not with this team. They went all out very, very early on. And so I'm like, hey, that's not normal. Pico, you lied to me. How dare you? That's not normal. They came in with real aggression, and actually, it was really impressive. I liked it.
And it worked out, clearly, right? They gave themselves second place. If they had 4 players, maybe it would work out, but DRX were very smart about the way playing that ridge. They get control of the rocks, and then Falcons couldn't do much. But until that point, it was a very, very solid match here coming out from Team Falcons.
Yeah.
But again, let's keep in mind, PMGC, 3rd place, right, with Enigma Galaxy. PMGO, 2nd place. The 3rd place curse has been broken. Come on, if they win it here, that would be such a magnificent comeback storyline for them.
just the line is just going to keep going up for that team. Now, another team that we were expecting them, especially with the circle that we ended up getting, Max, was Alpha 7. We thought that they were going to be able to do a little bit more, but I know you want to rage on this team because I was also raging watching what happened.
I am confused. Because Alpha 7, if you want to go for that road trifecta compound, I don't really have a big issue with that. I think that going for the DRX Ridge would maybe be a better decision overall. But instead, what do? They end it, they go right into the road trifecta compound, which is a very crashable compound. And they stay split. They have one player in each building. And guess what? Team Secret come in. Yangon Galacticos come in. Another team come in right after that. I don't really know why they decided to stay split for that long when you know your buildings. As a 2-2 or even have 4 crash, go into 2 buildings as a 2-2 or even have 4 players in 1 building. I don't care, but you need to be set up for defense because you are not going to hold 4 buildings as a full squad.
No, it's a really, really difficult thing. But those buildings are so hard to play anyway. Like, it's so nadeable, so low ground. It's just hard. So it's kind of like you lose whatever you do, really.
It was one of those teams that you expected that team to just stay a little bit compact. It didn't end up happening to them. But don't forget that from July 25th to the 27th and August 1st to the 3rd, log in to Summon Airdrops and collect 2025 airdrop vouchers to enter prize draws for official merchandise, smartphones, BD partner rewards, permanent in-game items, and more. Every participant is guaranteed to win. Additionally, from July 25th to the 31st, vote for your favorite airdrop partner for a chance to receive special gifts from them. Don't miss this year's airdrop carnival and unbox your surprise. I know I'm going to be doing it. Max probably has already done it, and Neptura is going to be doing it too. Now, going back to this game, I mean, one thing that actually ended up surprising me in regards to what you were saying with Falcons is how they were actually able to crash on Fireflux and take control of that southern part.
It's crazy, right? I mean, I know Blank and Jackie were talking about it a little bit there, where it's like, you're not usually able to get up there, let alone silently, especially in vehicles. So it's kind of a bit of a miracle they made it up there to begin with. And then what really impressed me was the follow through. They got the 2 initial knocks, but they didn't leave it there. You saw Raouf actually go into the cave, spot that extra player, and get rid of him. And then later on in that Elim feed, we saw them do it again and pick off that final player. So, like, they followed through with that fight.
They didn't catch, like, full in the cave itself.
Yeah.
Oh, was it on purpose?
I am the bad catch.
Was it on purpose? Maybe.
He had an entire backstory in that cave where he got spotted out by Raoul. But it was an interesting fight. Cave is always a little bit weird to fight around. Yeah. But it worked out at the end. And, yeah, Falcons able to just maneuver their way through and make it out.
It definitely did. Do you think, I know that was the only Sandhawk that we're going to be playing for today, but going into tomorrow, do you think these teams are going to be able to maybe readjust in regards to the hot drops, Max?
If you're talking about AX TMG versus non-Trim Red Forces, like that one hot drop, I think that I want to see AX TMG give up on it.
I do too.
Frank, because
even though they won?
Yeah, because because it's a 50-50, right? If they lost one player, guess what? Your chances of making it that far in the game is going to go down drastically. I think you go back to Northwest. Guess what? Camp Alpha is open. No teams dropped there, but we're also going to have different groups now, I think about it. So maybe you'd have to think about it a bit more. It might not be free tomorrow, but the previous drop was fine.
Yeah.
If you can go there again, just go and play your game.
Now, Neptura, for this match, you got a chance to talk about Team Falcons. You got a chance to talk about some of the other teams as well. Is there anything that kind of surprised you from what you saw here happen in the first game?
I kind of want to say actually Team Vision in the final phase up against DRX. I thought they could actually win it against DRX. They looked really mobile. They looked really aggressive. They had that momentum going. Just DRX's nades were able to pull through. But actually Team Vision, I was like, okay, nice. A little bit of a step up. I'm going to be looking for them.
Yeah, there was one player of DRX, I forgot who it was exactly, but that played very respectfully at one point. They were taking so much damage from Team Vision. He goes back, goes for a first aid, and the moment he comes back up, he gets onto the front line, holds a little bit more space to keep his team safe. Hopefully they don't get fleshed out. Fleshed out, they could be also. But they don't lose those players.
Yeah.
He gets in nade range, gets an amazing nade. I think he gets 3 eliminations at the end onto Team Vision, gets everyone confirmed, and then they can just start getting the res, getting full control of the high ground, and even then Falcons, I think they could have won if they pushed it right after that fight, but they had very limited information, which makes it a little bit hard for you to commit to a play when you don't know what is still available on the opposing side.
I was really happy, especially when we saw that push on Horror Esports. The way that they were able to just finish that off without losing any players, that's the consistency that I want to continue to see see out of that team. Now, as mentioned, Hora, that brings something up there, Max?
I was going to talk about Team Vision again, actually.
Okay, go
they get
for
a
it.
knock onto WBG.
Yes.
They instantly send
That was
it.
so
They were
nice.
so confident, which you know some teams that maybe are playing for the first time at a global event, they're like, no, WBG? Who the hell is that? We're going to send it regardless. So I love to see a team like that. They're seen as an underdog. Be confident.
Yes.
That is what you need if you want to go for the trophy.
I mean, the crowd is hyped. I'm hyped. I'm glad that we got a chance to see Falcons and kind of like, in a way, some of the top teams as well being able to at least put up some eliminations under here. Now, I want you to give me just a quick name. Going into Erangel, which team are you going to be looking at, Natura?
WBG.
Ooh, okay, Max?
Regnum Karya.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's send it over to Blank and Jackie, and let's see maybe which teams you guys have in mind.
Hey, thank you, Seven. I'm excited for this one, man. You know what? It's a spicy question. I'm liking it. He's not only desk hosting, he's cast hosting, he's doing it all. Go on, Blank. Who do you think? Who's going to show up here today?
I think that's what I'm looking at least. I'm kind of looking at Power, to be honest with you, and their drop over towards Yasnaya, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a chance, there's a potential chance that they drop alongside with Weibo Gaming, and I'd be interested to see how that hot drop happens, because a lot of times, you know, you can comfortably control Yasnaya on both sides. I do wonder if Weibo is going to be a little bit unhappy with a team dropping with them. We'll have to wait and see, because a lot of these drops can change. Also, Team Falcons in PMSL EU, they really struggle with Papada Supermassive actually dropping on top of them. In Pachinki, it really hurt their league stage. I'll see if some, because right now Kinotrope could drop on them potentially. But we'll see, because I do think Team Falcons needs that spot on the map to succeed, especially with Erangel being 3 matches a day.
No, I'm lucky. I like the setup here. You give some sort of good thought there for some of the storylines, Blank. I think it's in. Yeah, no worries. I got you, homie. But I think it's a good storyline as well in the sense of power, because that is actually literally like a power struggle. If you think about sort of the opening result from the first game there, you do squeeze out 2 points with Easy being able to get the backstab off late onto Influence Rage. But outside of that, that was a hot drop that obviously was a heavy hand straight to the face, right? Another rough outcome here, another rough start. I feel like it compounds so quickly, dude. Day one, hot drop after hot drop. If it all starts to go wrong, you build a very slippery slope for yourselves. So I'd love to see them fix that before we're saying, oh, game 3, it's not looking great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think for Power as well, the big issue for them is that most of the tournaments that we've seen, internationally, it's always been pretty bad start to squeezing out a qualification right at the end there, or just barely missing out on a qualification. And I think that that's something that Power just can't afford to have.
No.
When we've seen Power done the best in the past, is where they get a really clean start, they get out the gate running. That's when they do very, very well. So I think that kind of momentum buster towards the beginning of the tournament will hurt this team.
Yeah, you've got to feed the hot hand a little bit. You know, one thing that I think we noticed a lot last year as well was the difference of the body language from that team. When things are on, like you say, the confidence is there, they're feeling themselves, you see the happiness. When things aren't on, it does take a little bit of a different turn.
Al-Haji has this astonishing capability to either look like the angriest guy in the room or the happiest dude on earth. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Hopefully we get to see the more happy side of Al-Haji. We want to see Al happy. That's what we want to see.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. No, 100%, man. I think that human element of PUBG Mobile is something that sometimes sort of take for granted, right? Especially more so when we're online. You don't get that all the time to see the real sort of emotions for a team. And it really does run free, especially in this kind of environment, right? Like grand stage, very different, all encompassing with how you're sort of down in the middle, all of your other opponents around you, the crowd onlooking from all angles. Yeah, the anticipation and pressure could build up quite quickly. If you're just joining us as well, we're getting ready to kick off our second outing of the day here for the PUBG Mobile World Cup live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia at the Esports World Cup 2025. First game had some great storylines to it. They broke it down very succinctly on the desk there. We were saying the highlights, well, the ebb and flow of Vision, looking like they had a great control of the early game. Good mid portion with the fights they took. Late game though, comedy of errors in that encounter where they sort of shoved themselves into harm's way. Blank, DRX being able to pull the wool over everyone's eyes. Very passive but smart fights. Little backstab, little moments, all building to good map control that resulted in them getting a great chicken dinner. And then of course, Galacticus coming at you like a super villain, just ruining everyone, Blank. Eliminations on, what was that? Another elimination.
It's right, we were stacking them. We were stacking them. We were looking like a wedding cake of eliminations during that game. And I think the thing is that for Yangon Galacticos, when you were looking at them during that match, they were just compounding elimination after elimination. They went up to 7 elims, then it was suddenly 11, then we're finishing on 14. I was like, where are they all coming from? But it's just some very clean sweeps across the board. So for Yangon Galacticos, I do want to see more of that, please.
Oh, yes.
Honestly. But yeah, I think for DRX as well, it's good that you bring them up because there's some big boosts to fill for South Korea, especially after last year's PMGC with D+ actually winning that over in London. But for DRX, I do think that they have some very, very strong players on side, some very storied players on side. I mean, Hyunbin's been around for many, many years and has always been quite successful, and that's a good way to start things out. For South Korea in general, the macro is very, very good.
It really is. It really is. You know what, though? I think we're having a good time right now setting the stage, but why don't you see how much fun the players have been having? Check this out. Oh yes, as you can see, they've been enjoying themselves thoroughly. Blank, winning prizes, showing us the spins with the basketballs, and exploring all that Boulevard City has to offer, it seems.
Yeah, I loved it. You know, they took Regnum Kaya out. They had a great time. They were on the basketballs, and then they put Team Falcons in the dark room.
Yeah, that's where they were.
Keep them guarded. Ready to come back and defend that title.
Hey man, there's a lot of fans. There's a lot of fans for them, you know. The Falcons' nest, they had to roast and wait for them all to blow over.
It's cool they've got their own place as well. Practice and make sure that they're tipped off and ready to go.
And all for the fans that you can see before you. It's obviously a large segment here where everyone's getting riled up.
He loves doing that.
That's what it's like the Wu-Tang, but it's the Falcons, like Bird. It's interesting.
Every time that camera's on him, though,
he's going for it. He knows.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. Camera 1, camera 2, I'm on it.
Camera 8, yeah, I've got a Falcon for you.
Yeah. Caw-caw. If you see him in the distance, he's probably doing it.
What noise does a Falcon make, Blank?
It's like
What's it like glide through the air?
Yeah.
All right, pretty good. You've owned me there, actually. Obviously, you know, trying to get you to do a bird noise, but I'll take it. Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
that's it walking.
Was that its feet?
That was it walking.
Pretty good, actually. It's kind of realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing my best.
Wow. I didn't realize you were such a good Foley artist.
Yeah, no, I've got like a tambourine at home, you know, a little snare drum I use as well.
Rain stick?
Yeah, rain stick's important. Yeah. It was actually me who does a lot of the rain sounds for a lot of the movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, little known fact, you might not know this. All of the gun sounds in PUBG Mobile, that was you.
That's me.
That was actually Blank. He did those with his mouth. Like, kind of impressive, really.
It is. It's basically all the gun sounds that you hear is me walloping my lips against quite a hard material.
Yeah.
And then I pitch it right down.
Yeah.
And then bass boost it.
You were saying you could do the DBS live, though, right? That's one you just do normally.
Yeah,
You do the a cappella for the DBS.
Give me one.
Yeah.
There you go.
So that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. It's quite scary. I felt like we'd hot dropped. You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Look, man, I'm looking to really improve on the S12K at some point.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are using the silencer on that thing. I quite like how it sounds just no bass.
Right. Okay.
So I think we'll be looking into that one.
How did you do the explosive bow? Was that just, that takes some time? That one sounded quite intense.
That was difficult. I actually had to procure an actual explosive bow.
Really?
Yeah.
I see. Well, that makes far more sense.
It was pretty tight timing as well.
Yeah, I suppose.
They wanted it on a Tuesday. It was a Monday. I had to string the bow myself.
God.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Well, there you go. That was our new segment we're trying out here.
Yeah.
Facts with Blank.
Yeah. On the basically instead of arrows, I was just using fireworks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. There you go. So, all right. Brilliant. That's what we've gone for. If you enjoyed that, let us know, of course.
Check that out.
Yeah, check that out. Some
Huzzah.
more of this. Huzzah indeed. Of course, just waiting to get underway here with our second game. If you're just tuning in and you're wondering why you've got some developer commentary going on and you're learning about how all the gun sounds are made in PUBG Mobile, well, don't worry. You haven't tuned into the wrong stream. You are in the right place and at absolutely the right time. And I think definitely, Blank, one of the ways I've described this, mate, is it is the right time for everyone but Alpha 7 in that first game. That just felt like it was so uncomfortable. The fights that they were thrown into, trapped in the compound, looking a bit lost, and they do look a bit deflated, I'm going to be honest.
I'll put it. For the rest of the team, maybe I look a little bit deflated, but I don't think I've ever seen Brevo like not looking like that in an international.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I suppose the bar, like you got to think about the bar.
Even when he won, it was a severe look.
It was a pretty we've done it.
Yeah, and then hats off to the guy. I saw a small smile and a couple of tears when they won. And that was really heartbreaking.
Pretty mint.
That was pretty heartbreaking for me as well. It's the most emotion I've ever seen out of Revo. And I was like, damn, this actually does mean a lot to him.
It's got through his tough exterior.
We got 3 tears out of Revo, which is a big deal.
Yeah, it's mad. You don't really think of tears as individually, but
No, you don't. But for Revo, you know.
Economy.
As soon as that third one formed, I was like, damn, this is big news.
He loves it. He's really happy. But yeah, obviously not happy at the minute. We'll see if they can perk themselves up, though. It's going to be a bit of a rough day.
The thing is that technically they had the right idea of it. Of where they wanted to play and why they wanted to play there. I think just a lot of other teams also had the same idea. And then Team Secret coming in later to backstab them is just tough.
I think it was more just it's one of those where for a team like that, we know how they can be when they're at their absolute best. So obviously you kind of look at it with a bit of a different microscope, right? You're painting it with a different brush. So it's when you're looking at it with the fight where they set up, you had the compound to play off, but some of the missed nades, some of the missed timings on the peaks, it just felt a little bit like it's not hitting instantly. They've not woken up. It's all clicked. They're like, right, boys, we're back. Let's do it again. We could be the 2-time. We could run it back. Hyped up off it. It felt more like, okay, we've got to get into this. Like, wake up today. Let's take it bit by bit. And that's kind of what I was wondering is how they'd look here specifically. Because I feel like it's a different caliber, right?
It is.
You've got so much emotion tied to this event.
There is a huge amount of emotion tied to this event. And funnily enough, we actually got a little bit of a surprise interview for you with Team Falcons. I'm going to check in with them, see how they're doing coming to this tournament.
I think I adapt really fast because the team is hardworking, same as me, and then that's the result of us getting like good plays.
Eland, all in second here, most likely Asara being battered back. Koa doggedly in pursuit.
I will stay in Team Falcons for now, and then I would describe it as hardworking team.
But are they a funny team?
Good team. To be honest, I can deal with that easily. I don't have any pressure, even like between the fans or anyone. So I want to be remembered as PMWC champion and MVP.
There is a sense of circle there for them.
The confidence came from mostly from all of us training together, grinding, and every day motivating each other. It all depends how my teammates play, because nobody can play alone. I think the biggest challenge is going to be Alpha 7 on PMWC. Thank you all for following us and for supporting us, and see you on the next tournament.
Cool, with the Alpha 7 call out right away there. By the way, we are getting ready for the second match of the day, but we just want to take a little bit longer to get a chance to talk to you guys because, I mean, we got 2 hot drops in the first Sandhawk, Max. I wonder if we're going to be getting a little bit more hot drops here going into the first Erangel.
Theoretically, 2 could happen, right? We got one in Milta that's going to be Influence Rage versus Power. Power did already fight versus 4 Thrives in Heartin last game. I don't think they want to do 2 back-to-back. They lost versus 4 Thrives, so hopefully they can avoid that one. But the very important one here is going to be Regnum Karia versus AXTMG in Rozhok. You said, Niptura, last game, maybe they want to make a statement, start off hot, have a little bit of momentum. Do you want to hot drop as AXTMG Regnum Karia?
Absolutely not.
I thought you were going to say just absolutely. I was like,
No.
are you crazy?
As much as I love Nongshim and Regnum Karia, 2 different breeds at Cat there, especially on an Erangel, right? Sandhawk, it's all up for debate really anyway. You can drop somewhere, but it doesn't really matter. Erangel, these drops have been decided, have been practiced time and time and time again. It's just the map that is the bread and butter. So you better be really confident that you're going to win if you're going to hot drop Regnum Karia on an Erangel.
Especially Rozhok. When I think Rozhok, I think Regnum Karia. That is the first team name that comes to mind. So if you're AXTMG, if you want to go there, you better have a game plan in mind, because that is not going to be an easy hot drop like early on Ruins.
I mean, if they're going to go for it, we know that they can win a hot drop. They were able to showcase it, but I want to refresh everybody's memory and just take a look at the match ranking from the first Sandhawk. So we see where everybody's currently standing. I mean, DRX coming out hot there with the win, 19 points. Yangon Galacticos, we mentioned it earlier too. Just what a massive surprise for me and Neptura, being able to just collect those 14 eliminations and then you just keep going down that list.
You do indeed. And actually, I think there's a lot of teams on the top of that list, 1 game in, but that we didn't really expect to see. As you said, Sandhawk was kind of the underdog game coming into this. I mean, Yangon Galacticos, you've got Team Vision, you've got E-Arena, I think, has got a lot of hype, but not necessarily a lot of sort of backup with that. Necessarily, there's a lot of people that who don't know who they are, and so I feel like they have actually come into their own.
Something to keep in mind too is look how top heavy that first match was.
Oh yeah.
Like 6 plays, you go from 10 all the way down to 4, and then you just keep going down 2 and 2. So this is something that a lot of these other teams gonna watch out, because if they do have pop-up performances, I mean, we're talking about how insane this lobby is. It showcases. If teams pop off, they definitely pop off in a massive way.
Oh, we got so many 0 points.
Yo.
Oh, look at those.
Are those the 4 teams not
don't
playing
look at the
today?
donuts.
No, they are playing today. Please, sir, can you spare some points? We would love some at the bottom of the ranking. But it was, as you said, Seven, them very top heavy. Actually, we saw some decent points coming in for Team Secret and E-Arena. I had a very funny chat with all of the SEA talent lineup. And the Indonesian talent, I asked them, do you guys think there's any team from SEA that could win here at PMWC? And they instantly, I'm talking not even a second to think, all said no. They think no. They said E-Arena, maybe they could win, but they said Team Secret, no. And the side of Alter Ego, no. So that's quite surprising, because they have been favorites in the past. But
they have.
Even the local talent said, it ain't happening, bro.
I mean, it does seem like it's going to be just one of those things of we got to be able to see more from them before we start putting our faith in them.
Well, we've been talking about Sandhog. We wanted just to do a quick little recap there on what happened and just show everybody what's happening in regards to the match ranking. But I think it's time. I think it's time we send it back to Blank and Jackie for the first Erangel.
Oh, yeah. We'll run it right back, Seven. No one will even know. They'll think it's the first throw. They'll think they're tuning in, ready for this, because they damn better be. The game's going to be intense, Blank. First map, first outing. It was beautiful to see. A few mistakes made for teams, and like Max alluded to, a rough start for the many. But it is the few that have been showing up here at the Esports World Cup for the PUBG Mobile World Cup in force. Beautiful eliminations, some great teamwork, but what will we be seeing here?
It's exactly what we want to have happen on our stage right now. Over on Erangel, we're going to send it back over to the old classic.
That was good, I like that.
You did?
Yeah.
That was decent.
I told you, decent Foley artist.
Yeah, man, I got it.
Sounds down.
But match number 2 out of 18 here right now. This is Group Red versus Yellow. So we'll have the groups shifted up a little bit tomorrow. Look at this, down towards the south side of the map, coming from Primorsk all the way over towards Milta Power. Weibo Gaming down towards Primorsk, a really nice spot to start off in as well, to be honest with you. I think anyone that can start off in Primorsk on this kind of playing path does have a big advantage, especially because you can line this western coast as well, pick up a lot of vehicles, have control over towards Quarry, a massive amount of loot to have over down towards Primorsk. So yeah, very, very good beginning there for Weibo Gaming that have Suck over towards Sosnovka.
Yeah, quite a wide split for the Scout, mate.
That's a groin-splitting split.
Yeah, I don't think like what was his name? Jean-Claude Van Damme? No.
Yeah,
Was it Van Damme?
Yeah, with the jeans,
Yeah, it was Van Damme, wasn't it?
Yeah. That would be the guy. That's what we're watching here. So. And the Van Damme split.
Van Damme split, you're not wrong. Oh, okay, so obviously we were alluding to this a little bit. We were setting up the fact that Power could have had a bit of a drop on the Weibo, but it's not what we've seen. Instead, it's Influence, Rage that are here, actually getting a bit of their own back for Easy, who had the flank in the first map. Obviously being able to instantly get the damage as well. You have eaten that nade.
But he down, just down. And it's unfortunate to see, honestly. I think what typically happens with Aiden is that when Al-Haji goes down, he really struggles. When he's up, he plays kind of the centerpiece to that role where you do need him on the off angle to support Al-Haji when he goes for those pretty insane rollouts. But yeah, now just Ragnar and Easy try and make it happen. Got the doolies.
Trying to bait on a peak. Wild spray of bullets, but teamwork's there for the close quarters engagement. It's not ideal. And again, literally the same story, bro. This is the worst outcome, right? Just Easy left alone as the solo, if he even makes it out. But everyone's gunning for him. Want to confirm the full wipe on the squad. And that'd be Power Gaming going down as effectively the first full knock in both of the maps. Elevated angle over the top. We're going to dive onto him. Will eventually clean up. Took a bit of time to find it, but Easy's gone. You can get the save back onto him there. So Power out.
Spat out his chewing gum. I'm so happy about it.
Success.
That's a successful push. They chew down over towards Power. I'll tell you that right now for Influence Rage. It was actually. Yeah, I think that honestly on Milta, there was no way that Easy was getting out from there. You're backing it up to where he was. It was just complete open ground. There's a couple of buildings, and they would just isolate his position, located him, targeted him fairly quickly. But it's a quick cleanup over towards Milta as well.
It was. Obviously, we were kind of setting this one up with a bit of a breakdown on the split situation there. It's 4 Thrives that would be in the middle of the group reconnecting from that side if you're making the late rotate in from Sosnovka. I am curious to see how we will actually end up playing over the course of this one, because they're setting up the idea like, oh, a bit of a chance there. We'll see if Power Gaming can stuff things off better. Didn't go that way. It wasn't the storyline we got. Again, results them going down first. You've got potential as well. I think the longer these games go on, Blank, longer the day goes on, potentially even for them. I think this is where we're going to see more and more of that team being able to deliver. There's so much talent on there. You can tip of everyone's tongue saying that this could be the chance for that side of the region. They can start showing up again. So I'm curious if they're showing us a bit of innovation for some of these plays.
Yeah, I sort of understand it, where you send Sukat down towards Sosnovka on the eventuality is the south circle. Even then, like, you could make an efficient rotation across, and maybe it's the case where Suk in that situation just takes some pot shots over towards fourth drives as they make their way across the bridge, and then they can group up. But I think that the risk doesn't outweigh the reward here, honestly. It's going to be difficult to get back together. There's potential that Suk can take some vehicles, take a boat back around towards them, but by then you have delayed your rotation by a ton. For Falcons, on the other hand, no hot drop over towards there. Though my main takeaway from this game is because it's such a southern playing path, it doesn't really tell us too much about the drop spots, because these were a lot of backups being used.
Yeah, it's fair enough. It's fair enough. It's a good point to keep in mind, obviously, in terms of how it's going to affect things here. Give us some different results over the course of the day.
I was stressing going into the next match. They're like, do we want to drop Yasnaya now?
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's the awkward part. Because obviously, once it kind of is forgivable and it feels a bit rough and you can fix it, the second time it happens, that's when it is instantly like, we're at the halfway point of the day, boys. Like,
yeah.
It's already creeped up on us, you know?
How do you fix this? You have to get the screwdriver and kit out, figure out where the loose screw is.
I suppose at least the only blessing, like Max was saying, there is a decent gap. If you look towards, obviously, what, 6th upwards, it's not that much of a difference with points, right? So, like, obviously, if you just actually start to build your way back in and everyone else doesn't have a crazy spread, then maybe it's not the end of the world. But the likelihood of that obviously has a lot of bells and whistles attached to it.
Yeah, and as we know, Jackie, for the group stage we're starting off with, it really isn't that unforgivable to go down too early. We're going to get 8 teams going through towards straight through, and then we have 8 teams going through to the survival stage, battling it out, right? That's what we want to see here. So there is still a lot of chance for our squads to remain in this one for a long, long time. So it will be 16 teams in that survival stage. 8 of our top teams will be heading straight through towards those finals we'll be playing later. So we won't really see any teams or their keys being crushed until after that survival stage.
Yeah, you've got to wait for the spectacle. Like Barney was teasing, when the iris opens, sparks will be flying. So you won't want to miss that as the action develops here. I was kind of hoping a little bit, actually, we would get a run-in between these two with how good Yangon Galacticus looked into the previous matchup with Alpha 7 on the roam over. And it's DRX in the back line, so potential for the rotates in actually being quite spicy when the fights break out.
Yangon Galacticos pretty close towards what I would say is a fairly central position. Now roaming around towards gas station, and that side of the map pretty barren over towards the pizza slice that just sits on the northwest side of the map, which is very, very open. You don't really want to play around there. Always do find that that cross from shooting range off to that eastern side is a bit more awkward, which is why you're seeing much more teams down towards that southeast around Yasnaya. And staying far enough away from the field. So there's a lot of treacherous zones here that you don't really want to go into. I'm sort of surprised we don't have any teams trying to bank over towards Rozok. I guess for Regnum Karya, they're keeping a player back in wild so he can quickly dash back over towards Rozok if needs be.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Let's see, though. Let's see what this is going to do in terms of the shift and how the zone rotate will affect things. Blank, obviously, favors more central overall. Actually not too bad, really, especially in terms of the group that you've got there. So DRX still being able to play on the outer edge, everyone else making their move in. Falcons obviously slight adjustment there. Pachinki obviously open entirely as well, so we're regrouping up. It's a late rotate in through the blue for Weebu, and they'll have their focus in on a little bit of a late joining.
I think, honestly though, for the circle, pretty rough. You have the entirety of the fields right here on the map, which is just bare open ground, and then the pizza slice I was talking about earlier, which is on that southwest side of Stalba, where the 2 roads make that kind of triangle slice. That is fairly open too. So this is pretty tough for a lot of teams to remain, and I would probably bank on at least 2 or 3 teams going down over the course of the next circle, maybe circle and a half.
Definitely a lot of potential. Not much cover to play with, limited opportunities for the compound, so fights could be coming your way.
Absolutely, you're right. Team Falcons down towards the southwest edge. Like you said, Chinky was free as they'd left it quite early, but they're going to have to get past school right now. They're over towards apartments. A little bit more difficult to see because we are cramming 15 teams into a small space because they're all avoiding that fielded area. They're trying to take up space around some of the remaining compounds. You have the river that cuts through into the lake. It's a weird circle. It's a very weird circle. I do like this position DRX has, though Alpha 7 is waiting in the wings. Mafioso underneath. This typically is a really good spot to catch teams playing on those outer shacks and outposts just over towards the western side of Yasnaya on the lake. And you can control a lot of area from this top side. Now, how will DRX handle Alpha 7 though? Because the rest of the team is making their way on over with Creo, Squash and Revo just off towards the west.
It's Mafioso just playing on the lip here of the rock face. He's had the vehicles approaching, the engine giving that away. Just tucks in, has to play on the off angle realistically. If they peek into him, he seems like he's got a good read on the situation at least, but spacing from the teammates relatively far. DRX trying to get a lay of the land, assess if anyone else is coming in from the other side. Didn't actually find him. He pushed up towards the rock face as well on the peak. He leaned in for it, but neither one gave away the info fully. So obviously it's just the audio he's playing off for now, staying tucked in. If they push ahead of him, could backstab them really nicely.
They have no idea. They're properly confused on what's occurring. We're going to get our next circle. And it wasn't as treacherous as I thought it was going to be. This one is going to push a lot of teams away from the fields, at least from Yasnaya, so teams could be happy about that, but it's across the river. Jackie, over towards AX, E-Arena. Weibo's made a good wrap, actually, as well, over towards this north side. They are coming through that open ground, and Alpha 7 could chime in over towards that western side. We'll see how it happens, but Alpha 7 is so focused on taking over towards DRX, but DRX is left.
Join now with Alpha 7's POV straight back in. And this is what you were saying, the rotate over there, taking shots from the back line. Squash, we know that he can be talented. And unloading at the minute, snapshots over the top just as they tuck into the compound. A lot of chip damage onto them. Yeah, massively so. And you can follow up from it as well. I mean, Order in a horrific position. They just keep finding these knocks. Late game rotate, like it's been nice for them, but it results in this.
That's an important knock over towards Yangon. Galacticos coming through from RCB. But Weibo Gaming can get themselves back up. This is a Hail Mary of a play, Jackie, all right? In terms of where they are on the map, it's very, very central. They'll take the Wizard Tower here, which works out nicely. But they basically need to hold this position for the rest of the game. The vehicles are shot to bits. The tires are going to be all popped by the time they get out to them. So Weibo Gaming is not moving. At least not until the end game.
No. Well, what are you doing? Mate, he actually made it in. Oh, it couldn't have been better timing on it. Straight Benny Hills out up the stairs, wanting to get himself into the high ground.
This is a risky play.
No, it's meant
There's no one there to help him.
He just went for it.
It's like, we need the high ground.
Yeah.
We need to play up the high ground.
I've got to go.
I've got to go. I've got to go.
I've got to go. And he did. Go, he did.
Yeah. So that was literally a player. I guess the reason they do it is that making that play later, you're going to have 3 or 4 teams looking at you. So this was the only time to do it. Respect the fact that, you know, when it's crunch time, they're ready to play inside the crunch.
I mean, like, honestly, they've been kind of subverting expectations already with this matchup, even if it hasn't been just off the back, like, oh, we're seeing some crazy gun skill. They're keeping you guessing a little bit, which at times, thriving in the chaos, can be incredibly beneficial. Seems like non-ship Red Force taking a knock there, though. We've got a bit of a follow-up as well with AX getting thrown into the fight. Falcons, of course, here having a whole load of shrapnel thrown towards them. Narvalo is down. Still in a position where he could tuck around the back of the stairs and be saved, at least. Arian trying to just throw out some bullets to keep them guessing. Does he actually want to push up? It's a nice nade over towards where Koa is. Can cook this one perfectly. Chuck it in top.
Oh, it's pretty nice, actually, yeah. I think for AX, they're way more concerned about this next circle. Jackie, the amount of water in this is staggering, only for it to be over towards that southeast side with the fields.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous body of water. You think about the limited amount of space you've actually got to play with in the zone because of this. Okay. I mean, this has already been a bit of a cheeky one, Lang. So let's see where it goes. Non-shooting Red Force here, just eating bullets, trying to use the water as some sort of additional cover to work with, throw it off, but no. I mean, Alpha 7, eyes like a hawk at the minute, dialing onto them. We do say goodbye to another one of our squads here. Going out second, of course, with Power Game be the only full wipe that we had way back at the start of the game. That's why there's so many teams still in play here this late into the matchup.
And this is a really interesting position from Regnum Kaya, where they're underneath the bridge right now. They're playing the bridge, but the fact that no other team has really challenged that position as well is a staggering thought to me, honestly, because a lot of times you'll have teams on either side. So Regnum Kaya being able to hold this, it doesn't seem like the best position in the world to be literally on the iron girders underneath there. But it does keep you alive a long, long time. Doesn't always necessarily give you the winning position of the game, but I think for a lot of teams, survival is quite important in this particular match with this kind of circle.
Okay, here's two names we haven't had to say too much during this matchup, but of course we're very prevalent in our first outing of the day. You've got 4 Fribes and also Vision. We're both fighting down towards the outskirts. Similar kind of setup here, actually, with some of the teams that could be going head-to-head relatively soon. AX on the force down with E-Arena coming in from the back line. Henry might get caught. And you've got Falcons that will be waiting in the wings as they get lower down towards the roadside as well, with Vision onto them. Oh dear, Blank. Potential for some interesting little bouts here. It's a wide spread, though, from the arena. So they've got a lot of a lay of the land onto it. They can try and get a bit of vision onto the backside with DRX and Alpha 7.
It can't really afford to play anything too close here for E-Arena, because the space is just absolutely diabolical to play in. IQ, very, very good player. Been playing for a long, long time. Smart guy, hence the name. Looking to lead for Thrives towards a victorious push here versus Vision. They already find some good damage over their way. He's slowing it down. He's running circles around them.
Vision realistically just have not had an opportunity to move too much over the course of the past few minutes. We'll come back to that thought as it's DRX. They've got the opening chicken dinner of the day. Now they're just being given an explosive breakfast with Nitro being thrown their way. Nade after nade on top. Weebu as well, still being able to get stuck into the fight from the side as the bullets hit. Hyunbin on the nade back, good for one, but he's got a full army coming his way. I mean, this is E-Arena with a wall of smokes in front of him, effectively just him left. Everyone else has been taken out, so DRX, if they want to get the back-to-back wins, it would need to be an unbelievable effort just from Hyunbin with an awful lot to get done.
Yeah, he's in a bit of a struggle position. Luckily for him, E-Arena is getting walloped from the sidelines. Oh, what a problematic smoke there. Dissipates, and his eyebrows raise and are visible to E-Arena. Falcons somehow make their way in front of AX here, which is nice, and obviously take out the opposition, but what a disgusting circle this is. All lake, all field. Fireflux currently holding down towards Vision and 4 Thrives, so even if one of those teams gets away with their life, they're still gonna have to deal with shots coming through. Well, Vision actually able to sneak on past using that ridgeline on the west towards the roadside to make that happen.
Nade after nade. It's good damage. AX being able to find opportunities to fight on their terms in both matchups we've seen today. Going for the full crash as well, the Rhino maneuver with the vehicles over the top side, hitting heavy onto the Falcons. Now, Valo at least with the reply back, good for one. But the nade on top of the team. Oh, Henry goes down, and so do the Falcons. Oh, mate, feels like no one really wins there.
To be honest, I think that should have been an AX just wipe, and now Valo plays a risky game, drops a nade at his feet, finds 2 on the knocks. Somehow it happens, Team Secret, Lil Boy will go down. That's Jaiki in the back there. This is Team Secret all the way on the northeast side, coming out from Yasnaya. Alpha 7 made a big swim down towards the center of the circle. As we said before, Weibo have just not been able to move all that much. Their vehicles are shot. It is Yangon Galacticos still making this one happen, though they lose Say Cloud.
It's nice seeing the energy as well from Team Secret actually into this one. A lot of yelling already from them on the player camps. You can see they're trying to keep themselves fired up. Opportunity to steal away a couple of elims so far. It's put them in a pretty good spot. I mean, you know, Influence Rage, top spot with 6 points, but you're at a close second, still able to build more as well. We've got 4 players alive. Now, off the back of what was a crazy dive in, Order still from a position to find more impact. Team Secret still popping up there and again and again.
Regnum Karya, they've got a lockdown on this western side of the circle. It's such a nice place to be in where you really don't have much competition. They can get involved when they want, playing off from this bridge position. And again, a lot of teams didn't put stock in this, and I don't know why Regnum Karya was the only team to make that choice earlier on to pick this one up. And to be honest, it's a bit of a change, honestly, from their usual play. I think that they took their time moving from Rozhok a little bit further across towards apartments. A fair few times on these kind of circles, they've been caught out where they move too far and too fast. The circle ends up coming back their way, and then they struggle in the future because of it. And it should have been an easy pickup. Order attempts to make the cross, and that will be one. More in the pocket of Regnum Karya.
Yeah, the man himself, Silas, on screens, looking to find some impact on this one and build up the elims for him from the position they've got with the cover to play off. Now, Weeboo been taking their time. Feels like they've been, you know, given a bit of plot armor with some of the fights they've survived throughout this map. And maybe that's about to change. It's a good peek in. Loxy lops them up, shuts down one. There's the reposition close into the ridge as well. The rest of the squad not really in a position to attempt to trade, and the angles just don't favour you. You've got covered either on that side with the rock face, you've got vehicles to play off of.
My
God. With a quick peek, good headshot there.
Yeah, that was nuts from Toshbek. So low though, but need to get that headshot coming through from the Mini 14. Stake 3Z going down, just Suk remaining, our slightly more unorthodox player coming through from Weibo. On that big split they had earlier on. Alpha 7 do make it across, by the way. They did a heavy amount of damage, but managed to make it happen. Toshbek looking now, but you can see from staying in this spot for a long, long time, resources aren't looking all that great.
Yeah, running low. That's the factor that could come back to bite them the longer this one goes on. I was curious to see if things would keep developing in a good manner for Team Secret as well, as they had a nice little bit of choreography there for a while. They were finding fights where it looked like it was working well. I mean, up to 6 elims, but they've been shot in the back. They do at least still get the knocked player back up, so it's going to be okay to reset from it. That's the last remaining member of E Arena as well, just down towards the coastline there in Joker. Meanwhile, Alpha 7 low here on resources, but can they build back up from forcing out?
What are you doing, Carrillo?
Oh, mate, what's happening? Landed him.
Hey, here's that initial fight from earlier on versus Influence Rage, and Trang just holding it down in that front line. Diego goes down as a hopper from Lil Boy, and he just holds the angle, apparently.
Yeah, I guess so. Kind of setting this one up where it's like, oh, this could be big for them, force them out, take the position off them, get some gear. Nade to the back of the face. Love that, but let's see if they can save Revo, get him back in the fight. Meanwhile, they're being collapsed upon though. So this is Hora coming in from the top as well, looking to really put the pressure on here. No fear, living up to his name. Nade over the top, burst in air. Hora with the first knock back over. Seems like Silas as well, taking that one straight to the dome. It's a 3-pointer. Oh, mate, beautiful work done. We move out in the meantime. Sleepy has his legs blown out on the nade back over from Alpha 7.
If he hits this. It's so close, bro. That second nade was unbelievable, but Forever was able to make his way down and hit the shot. Regnum Kaya will go out there. 6 celims. I think that was a good game from Regnum Kaya, all things said. They just got themselves into a position where couldn't quite figure out a way to remove themselves from it. Again, I don't think the circle favors them at all here. So I do think it was decent. For Carrillo, yeah, head down focused. Definitely should feel a little bit guilty about what he just did over towards Revo, who was revving up to get a good nade over towards Regnum Kaya earlier.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like you say, if you can at least recover it individually, then it'll be all right. We can forget about the bad times and the possibility of it maybe being better than it should have been. But we'll go from here. You forced out the team underneath, so no one blocking your path. It allows at least a bit of a reset from Hora. A lot invested into that, though. Unfortunately for them, they were hoping it would be way cleaner, right, on the dive in with a third party. You get left with just 2 players. It is going to slow you down. So many nades used as well from them. So back pockets relatively empty, and there's not much to pilfer from what was underneath the bridge.
Yeah, this is such a weird circle as well. You do not see this kind of circle for many, many months at a time. It's a very, very odd one. I don't think I've seen the circle end up around here for a long, long, long time. Pretty much for Thrives or Fireflux do have a big position here purely because they have the ridgeline to play around between one another. It's going to be Horror, No Fear, Alpha 7, Team Secret, and potentially E-Arena who's going to be getting themselves involved with one another. Obviously, the big difficulty though for Thrives and Fireflux is that eventually that ridgeline is going to be useless to them because they're going to have to move over towards that north side.
Well, Horror might have just outlived potential expiry date they've had on this one. No Fear, the last to fall, as Revo will get revenge for the damage back over into the previous encounter towards the bridge. And he can save his teammates. You will still have 2 of the Alpha 7 squad alive and kicking, trying to play off each other here. Let's see, maybe they can build themselves back in, have a great start into the second game of the day, and show us the reigning champs have a lot of fight left in them. Team Secret, though, Blanket, I'm curious to see, actually, if they could show up on this one. It's been nice from some of the mid-game fights that we saw them taking, and I love how fired up they look. Like, instantly into this matchup, they're yelling, they're going for all of the good comms. That's not what you want, though. Sideline shot back over, quick trade, headshot onto Revo with a mini-14. It's a nice knock again. They're feeling the pressure from this position.
It's bad, though. This is the worst time for Revo to be able to find a shot like that. For Alpha 7, they're far into the circle already, but this next one's going to start to push them. And to be honest, in that moment, Team Secret likely wanted to start finding a bit of a foothold in the future. You can see Fireflux here locked into the tiniest ditch available, and the circle is going to continue to push them further inwards. I like the way 4 Thrives is playing this. They've got that lineup, so even if Fireflux are able to send a nade across, they've got way more space to play in, and they are taking advantage of that space as well. So these nades have got to be absolutely sublime from Fireflux.
Had a decent amount of them to work with as well, and you can see how they're setting this up. Good comms on it, slightly staggered with the nades going over. Looking to make sure they can commit onto the knock player just a little bit shallow. It's such a substantial distance, though. Definitely trying to see if they could force out the 4 Thrives members and punish them. Oh, this could be good. Perfect timing. Waits for the peek up. Slap back over, though, Blank. It's not for free. They're actually able to at least get a quick trade onto him, so good heads-up play.
The Bush had a framework made of metal, stopped that buggy in its tracks. The Fireflux ruined by that moment. They really just wanted to get across and start taking shots to the 2 players remaining from 4 Thrives. In the meantime, though, Madcap will go down, as will Scarface, and it's looking pretty grim right now for Fireflux. Alpha 7 and Carrillo, as well as Revo, I mean, that is a dynamic duo and a half, and they could make something work out of this game.
Potentially so. There's always a chance. There really is. Fortunately for 4 Thrives, now it's just 1 that has to thrive. That's all that's left for them. And like you say, a bit of a split there.